Hello students, me Sanjay Barnwal and today I am going to teach you a thing of beauty. But today I will tell you only the explanation of the first stanza. So before starting anything about this poem, I want to tell you something about the poet John Keats. John Keats was born on October 31 in 1795 at London, and he wrote many beautiful poems which were related to nature, romantic effort, and about the beloveds of some person. In all his poems, he shows a vivid picture of romanticism. His lifespan was very short. He died on February 23 in 1821 at Rome. So I am very much clear, I should be very much clear to you that he was alive only for 26 years. But during this time, his broad composition, his broad research in composition has made him very much popular among his lovers, among his readers. Now I am going to tell you the background of this poem. Background means for what purpose this poem has been written by the poet. Background means from which mythology or legend this poem has been taken. So at first I want to tell you that this poem is based on a Greek legend in which Endymion, who was a beautiful young shepherd, he fell in love with Cynthia, the moon goddess. At some places it has been written that Cynthia herself is Diana. So Endymion loved Cynthia or Diana very much, and he was in search of this lady. He searched her everywhere, on mountains, in rivers, or down the rivers he went, but he never found her. So during his search, when he came to earth, so he fell in love with another lady uh, who was an earthly maiden. In the last, it has been written at all places that when that lady opens her secrecy, she tells that she is none but Diana herself, but Cynthia herself. And then that shepherd Endymion and Diana both again felt the feeling of love everywhere in the universe. Now, I am going to tell you the appropriateness of the topic or the title of this poem. The topic is a thing of beauty, and I have told you that this poem is on the base of a Greek mythology. It appeals the unification of oneself with all objects of nature. If a person loves someone, he forgets his own existence and thinks only about his beloved. Here, beloved does not mean a physical figure, a lady of beauty, but beloved is everything whom we love, to whom we show our great intimation. Everything is our beloved. So, if a person thinks only about his beloved, he feels a type of unification with all the objects of nature. Slowly, he feels this unification of love through union of his self with eternity, and thus he feels the presence of eternity everywhere. He feels an essence of joy in everything. Now each beautiful thing describes the beauty of eternity. So, John Keats writes, "A things of beauty is a joy forever." He believes in universal appeal of beauty. This whole universe is beautiful because this is a creation of the most beautiful God. So, I am going to explain the first stanza, which is started from "A thing of beauty" to "quiet breathing." So, line by line, I want to explain it. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. It means that thing to whom we love. It is not important that the thing is very beautiful. It is not important that the person is very beautiful. If we love that object or that person, it does not matter of her beauty. The love which we feel for that object or that person, it is internal love. It unificates that one person to the whole universe. So he feels the joy forever. So here, a thing of beauty is a joy forever does not refer to a very beautiful person, but it refers to all natural objects which are very much essential for us. One thing I want to tell here, in this line, "A thing of beauty is a joy forever," it is metaphor. Metaphor is a figure of speech. In this, through this line, the poet compares a thing of beauty to that joy which comes to that person forever. यहाँ पे उस खूबसूरत चीज़ की तुलना उस जॉय से किया गया है जो कि हमेशा के लिए हमारे अंदर होता है. Now second line, its loveliness increases. Its means that beautiful thing. Its loveliness increases. It will never pass into nothingness. Here, this line means that object to whom we love, that person to whom we love, it does not stops after some time. It increases day by day. Now one can think, how? जब हम किसी चीज़ से प्यार करते हैं तो धीरे धीरे प्यार करते करते उस चीज़ का इमेज हम हर जगह देखने लगते हैं. हर लिविंग, हर नॉन लिविंग ऑब्जेक्ट में वो चीज़ हमें दिखने लगती है, और फिर वो चीज़ जिसमें हमें उस पर्सन या उस चीज़ का इमेज दिखाई पड़ रहा है वो भी बहुत प्यारा लगने लगता है. फॉर दैट रीजन इट हैज़ बीन रिटेन हियर, इट्स लवलीनेस इंक्रीजेस, and no one can tell that that beautiful object cannot give anything. It means it can give a great pleasure to the lover, to that person who loves that object. Now next line, but will keep a bower quiet for us. But will keep a bower quiet for us. It means that beautiful object is like a very peaceful place. Here bower means place. So here a bower quiet again is a very good and beautiful use of metaphor, and that thing of beauty is compared with a bower quiet. So the poet describes in this line that the object which is loved by a person is a very peaceful place where that person finds a very a peaceful condition, a mental peace, and a sleep full of sweet dreams. Again, there is the very nice use of metaphor. So that thing of beauty is compared with that sleeping, that sleep which is full of sweet dreams. So again, I want to tell that the thing to whom a person loves, it gives him or her a sleep full of silence, a sleep full of peace, a very comfortable sleep. And when he sleeps in night, he feels the dreams which are very sweet. Again, in this phrase and health and quiet breathing, you meet with metaphor. Here again, the thing of beauty is compared with that good health and quiet breathing. It means if a person loves a thing of beauty, loves a beautiful thing, he feels a great health and he feels a quiet breathing, a peaceful breathing. In all, I want to tell that this stanza is full of so many uses of metaphors and so many images also. This stanza in nutshell wants to describe that a beautiful thing gives us quiet health, silent breathing, sweet dreams, and a very peace of mind. Now I am going to tell you the rhyming scheme and the rhyming words of this stanza. The rhyming words of this stanza are forever, rhyming with never, keep, rhyming with sleep, and breathing is alone. So the rhyming scheme may be A, B, A, B, C. Incomplete you can tell A, B, A, B, C. Now here is the written summary of this stanza. I hope that you have understood the summary, but if you want to read this summary, you can pause the video and read it carefully. Now I am going to discuss something about the MCQ questions. I think you have known till now that the MCQs are one of the very important part of your question paper, and approximately 50% of your question paper is MCQs. So from this stanza I have made some MCQ questions. My first question is stanza a thing of beauty dot dot and quiet breathing are written by. So in the paper I don't think that there is any clue to understand from which poem it has been taken. So you must know the lines especially so that you can give the answer of this question. So there are four options: John Keats, John Byron, P.B. Shelley, and W.B. Yeats. So certainly your answer should be John Keats. Your answer should be John Keats. Now second question. In these lines, a thing of beauty is compared with. So again, there are four options: pleasure, a peaceful place, dreamy sleep, moon. Now you have to tell which answer is not correct. So pleasure is the correct answer. A peaceful place is also correct answer. Dreamy sleep is also correct answer. Moon is that answer which is incorrect for this question. Now third question. Which figure of speech is in this line a sleep full of sweet dreams? So during the description or the explanation of this stanza, I have told that a sleep full of sweet dreams is a comparison with a thing of beauty. So it should certainly be metaphor. The correct answer is metaphor. Now next, the fourth question is rhyming scheme in this stanza. First option is ABAB, second ABAB CD, third option AABB, and here should be C also. So option number C is AABBC and option number D is ABABCC. So I have told you that forever is rhyming with never. So if someone is going to give forever A, then never should be A. So for first two lines the rhyming scheme is AA, and next two lines BB, and last fifth line is C. So correct option is AABBC. Now fifth question, full of sweet dreams means. So first option is pleasant and peaceful sleep, distributed sleep, third nightmares, and D wishes coming true. So certainly you can understand properly it that the right answer is a pleasant and peaceful sleep. If you want to give your answer from these MCQ questions, so you can give your answer in comment box. For explanation of next stanzas of the chapter, write us in comment section, and don't forget to share the video with your friends to let them get one of the best explanation in English. Thank you very much.